What's happening, everybody? This is Mike, and that is Mark, and we are the Comic Bookies. Welcome to another week of colliding the worlds of sports and comics. Your favorite podcast is back for another week. In comics this week, we have plenty of books. In comics this week, we have plenty of books to get into and plenty of news, including a new Spider-Man No Way Home poster. Eternals wins the domestic race at $71 million, and James Bond is already up for rent. And on the sports side, you see the hat if you're watching it live, but Kyle frickin' Larson is the champion of NASCAR, NFL Week 10, and we get into our little hometown Warriors in NBA action. All that and more on a brand new spanking 132nd episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Let's do it. Mark. He waved. Okay, let's go. What's up? You need to talk?
Do you need my assistance?
All right, now we're cooking. Just so we can make sure we hear you. Mark, sounds good?
That's a good picture.
Say something? I know, right?
Yo, 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 yo.
Okay, good. We're good to go. Okay, here's your phone. Later. Extra toasty cheese, it's the best. That's
Hell
the
yeah,
title
they
of
are.
the, of the episode this week. Extra toasty Cheez-Its. All right, we have a fun-filled episode for you guys tonight, so we'll try to get it done in a timely manner. Welcome in, welcome all. Okay, Mark, you ready? I'm ready. Let's go back live in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast, colliding the worlds of sports and comics. We are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 10th, 2021 is New Comic Book Day. So like we say every single week, go see Alex, go see the shop. It's right across the street from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patio, in the whole wide world. But hey, if you're listening across the United States, across the whole world, go to your local comic shop. Don't buy online. Yes, the emissions, it sucks, but go and visit the damn local comic book store and get your stack today. Mark, it's as you can see, we have a friend up here. If you're watching live or whether you're listening, thank you so much for supporting, downloading, subscribing. But if you're watching live, we see a picture of Kyle Larson hoisting the trophy, the NASCAR championships. Unfortunately, sports is our second segment tonight. We're getting into comics first, but how are you, sir? How have you been the last 6 days? Sean, as everyone can hear, is not here tonight. He's just dealing with the baby stuff, so good luck to him. His baby boy, Kaysen, is here any minute now, but it's just me and Shark. It's me and Mark. Shark. Me and Mark, the Shark again. What's up, bro?
You're thinking of our NHL team, aren't you? Huh?
Yeah.
But no, episode 132, we are here. We are live, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in this special episode as we get into these middle stages of the November months. Getting colder around these parts of town, but nonetheless, it's exciting to start getting some turkey and gravy stuff down our esophagus and to get some presents under that Christmas tree. But yeah, dude, like you mentioned, go see Treasure Island Comics. I wanted to say, actually, give a little shout out to him that he has actually bought. I was in there, obviously, getting my books, and Alex bought a big collection off one of his customers that's actually been shopping with him, I think, for like 30 years, he said. So there were a lot of people in there actually digging through a lot of those old comics, getting Spider-Man type back issues, a run from like the 70s, I believe.
Oh, nice.
And some guy came in there and he was like, he literally left for 2 hours to go get his wallet or to go get some money, and then he came back and some guy had taken the exact comic that he wants. So I was kind of surprised by that. I was telling Alex, I'm like, I'd be hella pissed if I just left for 2 hours. I wouldn't expect someone to come in here and get the exact comic. So that's when he explained to me that he's gotten like a couple runs from a lot of years going way back, and that people know about it. So he's been getting a lot of foot traffic. So check him out. Check out the website. Call him if you guys need to. But he's got all types of stuff for your guys' reading pleasure. But man, congratulations. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, I think he gifts himself every year. Like, he gets himself a gift. I think he's trying to, like, complete his collection, I think, of, like, Action Comics or one of those, like, older books. And so I know each and every year he gets, like, one of them. He's like, all right, I'm giving myself enough money to grab one book off eBay or wherever I can find it. But I think I might do that for Detective Comics. Obviously, when I get to a certain number, I'm not going to really be able to afford it. I'll have to go, like, once a year type thing. But I'm going to start making a run for, like, one specific book and trying to get every single issue. I mean, we'll see. Detective Comics 27 is never going to happen, but
and I was actually bagging and boarding like my Miles Morales, and I was like, oh, I have the whole run so far besides the first 5 issues. I think I started at 6, but that'd be kind of cool to have a complete whole run. But nonetheless, we'll get into comics and sports soon. But how are you, brother? I mean, congratulations. Your driver won. We'll obviously talk about it later. California kid, Northern Cali. The NASCAR season is over, but Mike will probably be celebrating up until they run him down there at the LA Coliseum where his USC Trojan play. But
I mean, I haven't been on a website getting championship gear since the Warriors made their run and won 3 championships in 4 years. It felt really good to go on Larson's website, get a hat, a hoodie, a flag, so I can, I'm going to fly it proud out in the front yard for a few months until Daytona hits, and then, obviously hang it up in the man cave out here where we record. But it feels good to finally have something that I can say, oh, it's a champion, because our baseball team's not going to do it anytime soon. With the amount of arrests and drops, our football team's not going to, get it done anytime soon. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of our football team, man, what a crazy ass times that they're living in over there in the Vegas, in the desert. Yeah. Sometimes the grass ain't always greener, but I guess that's something else that we're gonna have to get into in the sports section and whatnot. But anything going on in your life?
Just busy at work, dude.
You got a new TV with 2 wrong stands, and
I know. Yes. I got a new TV, and it came with 2 right-hand stands. So we've been running around trying to go to the different Targets for the last couple hours and trying to see if they would exchange it. But unfortunately, one of the stores that actually has it in stock says that they need the whole TV and not just a replacement of the left and right stands. So gonna have to wait, gonna have to put the TV back in the box when we're done here and, drive over half an hour to the town, across from us and exchange it tomorrow before I go to work. But besides that, man, just a hellacious week of work last week, even though it was only 3 days. Just tons of stuff happening, going wrong, and trying to, pick up the pieces here and clean up after, other things there. And so hopefully it's an easy 4-day work week this week and then into a long weekend. How about you?
Definitely. I mean, stock market's all-time highs every week, it seems like.
It's down a little bit today, right? I know all my stocks were a little bit down today, just a little bit.
Down a little bit, but it's just weird times we're living in, It's just as quick as 2021 came after that horrendous 2020 year, and now we're sitting here like, damn, here comes 2022. I mean, I'd like to say that I'm ready for 2022 to turn the page, but I'm scared that 2022 might be a little bit worse than these last 2 years. I hope not, but a lot of questions in the U.S. economy, as of late. A lot of stuff going on with inflation and, gas prices are crazy, and just, the head of the Fed chair might get replaced, and that might shake things up in the economy and the stock market, and just a lot of questions, man. I just have to say to everybody out there, if you're listening, comic bookie fans, I know you guys like to drop some money on some games, but preserve that capital. Make sure you save some money at these desperate times, because who knows what's going to happen, man. I feel like every day something can just drop, and, it's just they want to tax billionaires. Elon Musk wants to sell all types of stock, and just Tesla went down huge today. It's just, I don't know what's going on, but what I do know is that this is episode 132. It's going to be fun. Mike's excited because he's got that 5 on his hat. I'm excited because, hey, I'm with my brother, and it's time to talk. It's time to talk about how much we have been sucking in our picks.
Oh, my
because,
God.
geez, is that real life, dude? I mean,
like,
I just...
The hugest things we need to talk about are in the next section. So let's hurry up and let's get comics. Even though we love the comics, let's get it over with.
Let's do it.
So tomorrow's books that come out at your local comic book store. DC side, Action Comics 1036, Wonder Woman 781, The Joker number 9, Batman the Imposter number 2, and then a new story, Robin and Batman number 1. Over on the Marvel side, we have Amazing Spider-Man 78, Excalibur 25, Miles Morales Spider-Man for Mark 32, and myself and Sean get Alien number 8, and also a new story, Donny Cates starts his run on Venom number 1 comes out tomorrow. Image gives us Undiscovered Country 17, Stillwater 11, and What's the Furthest Place from Here number 1. Dark Horse gives us May's Book number 3. Dynamite gives us James Bond Himeros 2. Boom Studios, Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body number 1. I grabbed that one. And AWA Out number 2 and Telepaths number 3. Now, Mark, another record-breaking, actually not record-breaking, it's a record-tying. I've yet ever to get 14 books in a week, but it's lucky number 13 for me tomorrow, buddy. What are you looking like this week? What are you looking forward to in that stack that I just listed off, or anything else in particular?
New comic book week this week, Mike, of November 11th, I believe. That's my buddy's birthday tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna have to ring him in. I'm glad I said that out loud, because I just reminded myself 11/11. That's right.
11/11.
But yeah, I think I got 5 books that I'm getting this week. 6.
5?
I can make it 6 if I want to get the second offering of a righteous, what is it? A righteous thirst for vengeance.
For vengeance, yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean, the first issue wasn't too great. It was like one of those 5-minute issues, not too much dialogue, just mainly, pictures and whatnot. But I told myself I'm not going to put it on the pull list. But what I am going to do is I'm going to see if Alex has it in stock on the shelves the day that I'm picking up my books. And if he does, it's one of those things that I'll get it. If he doesn't, then so be it, right? Mm-hmm. But, I'm excited for the books. Action, I feel like I haven't been getting action as much. I've been getting Batman and Detective, because obviously I have it. But it's just, I felt like at one point, Action, Batman, and Detective were pretty much all on equal, footing when it comes to getting them, just different weeks. But now I really feel like Action is really once a month, where Batman.
Well, it is. I think Detective, Batman, and like maybe I think remember when we heard that it was going back to once a month, we only hit that for a few months, and then Batman, Detective, and I think The Flash went back to twice monthly. And maybe like one other one. So I was like, oh, great. So they increased the price, and 3 of the popular books, which we probably won't ever drop, of course, they go to twice monthly. So we're paying, $2 extra a month for it. But, I mean, at least the 2 Batman books are actually worth getting twice a month. It's worth the money to me.
Yeah.
But Action, it's been a while. It's actually been a long while. I remember the cover of the last issue was Lois Lane and Jonathan Kent like sitting up on the porch, kind of like drying their teary eyes because Dad was about to go bye-bye,
That's right. And I'm pretty, Action's not my favorite book that I read out of the DC, repertoire, whatnot,
good,
the arsenal. Action, I've learned to love it. I think the Bendis story was probably a little bit better than what's going on right now by, what is it, Phillips, or am I not mistaken?
Philip Kennedy Johnson?
Philip Kennedy, yeah. So, I mean, he's doing a decent job. I think this last offering was a lot better than the 2-3 prior ones, but I'm actually excited for what's actually going to come of it, because like you said, he's he's going to fight in the other world.
Yeah, he's going to War World to fight Mongol and trying to free all those like Kryptonian slaves, and but it's such a cool story, like, because it connected with the Future State. That was one of the 5 or 6 books that I actually picked up on Future State. So I was like, when's that going to happen? And how they twisted it to where he sent someone here to kind of like, kind of brainwashed or said, or not brainwashed, but he blackmailed her, right? Like, I'm going to kill you and all of your people if you don't do this for me.
Yeah, and it's setting up kind of. I mean,
For an,
you can't ever
it's setting up for an
obviously
epic arc, like an epic, like 8-issue arc.
But I don't even think it's just an epic arc, Mike. I think it's setting up for an epic, side story or continuous story.
True.
Because I think you're never going to get rid of obviously Clark Kent, but what they're kind of like spinning off of it, with the son kind of really taking the reins and, like him going off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're going to see a big shakeup where this, John Kent is just going to become a lot more, profound in, in the comic book realm when it comes to the Superman, logo and the Superman family, right?
Yeah. So Jonathan Kent he's the focal point of Superman, son of Kal-El. Do you think he's going to take over as the focal point of Action Comics, and then Clark Kent's going to be like, something else? Like, it's going to be like Superman War World or Superman, something to have to do with Mongol, and that's his story for a while.
That's what I'm kind of going at, Mike. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but that's what's kind of been in the back of my head. And I'm glad that you kind of like said it for me. But yeah, that's exactly what I've been thinking. Like, it just he might become the more focal point of like this day and age 2022's, Superman, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I just think that might be kind of hard to do, but these, DC knows what they're doing. They obviously had backlash and whatnot. We mentioned, last week how people are going to the illustrator and writers, death threats and whatnot. Yeah. It's kind of stupid, but yeah, I'm excited to see actually where Action is going to go. I'm obviously not getting any other books with Superman in it. Mike, you are,
Justice League,
you still get
and
Justice League, Superman. I used to get Williamson's offering of Batman, Superman, but I dropped that one a while ago. Just wasn't a big fan. I believe you did too, Mike. Mm-hmm. And just DC always got me excited. I'll see what the Flash. I don't think is Flash coming out this week.
No, because I would have I would have written it down. It's usually one of those top ones. It might be next week. Not really sure.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think I heard you say it. So
no.
Yeah. Last week, dude, I read Primordial, an offering from Jeff Lemire, Primordial #2, Image Comics with Andrea Sorrentino and Dave Stewart. As I always got to say, Mike, no, not that Dave Stewart. Not the one that played for those cheap-ass Oakland A's that want to run everybody out of town because they're not buying what they're trying to give them at that Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus out there in Oakland. But anyway, Primordial, good, about a 5 to 7 minute read. Not as good as the first. Actually, I was pretty, disappointed. I think it's a little setup story, but just the little dog, it's a little backstory on the dog's keeper and how she has to send her out into space and whatnot. And then at the end, the dog kind of meets up. It was almost kind of like a dead issue. Like I almost got sorry, Mike, because I know you haven't read it.
No,
I kind of just
you're not giving away too much. Yeah.
I'm not giving away too much, but okay, I'll leave it at that. It's somewhat of a dead issue for me. I think that they could have like just kind of incorporated all this into the first issue, but I'm gonna give it. You said it was 6. Is it a 6-issue miniseries or a maxi 12?
I think it's a mini. I think that's what really like drew me towards it. Was like, oh, Jeff Lemire, and it's only 6 issues. Hell yeah.
So I'll stick with it if I got 4 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sucks if there's only 6 that this one was that dead, but
I know they could have given me more. Yeah.
You didn't read Batman 116, did you?
No, not yet. So the ones I read were from 2 weeks ago. Usually on these short weeks, I don't get to read too many from the previous week. It's usually 2 weeks ago. So Dark Blood #4 of 6. It's getting better, but it's coming. It's one of those stories where it's like, all right, what the hell? Let's go, give it to me. Like, what are you gonna give me some epic like last issue and like make me So like the first issue is pretty good, and then 2, 3, 4 are like decent, getting a little better by about 2, 3, 4%. So I don't know. I just wish it was. I wish I got issue 1. In 2 through 6. So we'll see what issue 5 has in store. One issue that I will be picking up and pulling is this one right here from Aftershock is Cross to Bear by Marko Stojanovic and Sinisa Banovic.
Stojanovic.
Yeah, so we have a European-led comic book. It's really cool, set in Boston in 1889. It feels like a Jack the Ripper meets like Assassin's Creed, because there's like an order of these guys who is hunting this guy down because he's killing all these women. And then, of course, not to give too much away, but they fail in catching this guy in the first couple scenes of the story, and then they go to a local bar and they're trying to find him, and and then they meet another one of their own. So it's a pretty good story. I'm definitely pulling it. I believe it's only like 4 or 5 or 6 issues, so definitely going to pull that one. And like the only one else that I really I agreed with you from last week, Moon Knight was a little better, but Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl's a weird one because it's getting a little better as it goes along. I'm getting more of a backstory on Yara Flor, which is cool. She's the new Brazilian like Wonder Woman, or Wonder Girls, sorry. But 4 issues, it feels like 4 issues have come out over the span of like 6 months. Like I'm only getting it every like 5 or 6 weeks. So it's kind of tough to remember what happened in 3 when I read 4 when I read, 5, and so on and so forth. So I hope that they get more on like a, tight-knit schedule with that one. Not to say that I want twice monthly, but give it to me like the first week of every month and not like the first week and then the 6 weeks later, and then kind of, what I'm saying, like how it's kind of funky like that when they go month to month. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for my books.
Kind of like Undiscovered Country.
Oh my God, yeah. I think we're getting it. We're getting it this week, but it kind of feels like I haven't gotten it in like 5 or 6 weeks.
How do you? Let's talk about it. It's gone. Is it going on 2 years almost since we've gotten all these issues?
Well, yes. If it's monthly, then 18 months would be a year and a half now.
So let's be a little critical on it. I'd like to be. I mean,
I'm looking more forward to the TV show or movie that they're producing now than getting a book. I'm more excited about that than getting a book month to month. When you have this kind of story, I want to see more. I don't know.
Thank you.
Like these types of stories nowadays, like something that I'm completely unaware of. I'd like more of a short story. Give me the 6 issue. Give me like the 7 or 8 issue. When it's of course Batman action stuff that I'm already familiar with, you can give me an ongoing run. But like, I hope that I don't feel this way about Stillwater when it gets like 6 issues, because this is Stillwater number 11. I hope I don't feel that way when Noctera and Geiger come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's going to be epic of a story or whatever, please give it to me Geiger. Like 6 or 12. But like Undiscovered Country, we're going on 17 issues, and it doesn't feel like it's going to end pretty soon. Didn't what's his name? Didn't Snyder say it was gonna? It's like a 3-year thing.
Did he?
Like a 3-year story. Yeah, they have enough. They have enough issues, enough writing, and enough material to go on for what's that? 36 issues.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're not even halfway there when it comes to the story. They're only in the 3rd different world, the 4th different world since we started the story.
4th, I think.
I think it's the 4th. Yeah. So I mean,
and it's good. It's just I don't know if it's because of the break that they took. If you remember, if you recall that,
Scumbag took a break too. Scumbag's kind of fallen off just a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't want to really put Scumbag. No disrespect to Rick Remender, but I don't really want to put Scumbag in the realm of what Snyder and Kamachuli or Kamanolchi, what's his name?
Kamankoli or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what they're trying to do with Undiscovered Country, I believe, is was a little bit stronger, if for lack of better words, than what Rick Remender is trying to go with in the Scumbag. But it's just I don't know if it's because of the hiatus they took. I don't know if it's because it's just I don't know if it's because how an arc kind of is a whole land, right? Pretty much you go to a different land and that's pretty much the whole arc. I feel like maybe you can fit two lands into one arc in a way. It's just at certain parts I think that it could get a little bit slow, that they could speed it up a little bit. And then once again, how sporadic the issues are. You might get one on the first week of 1 month and then the last week of the next month pretty much feeling like it's 2 months apart. And it's just from all the stories that I get in between and all the previews and all the DC books that come bi-weekly or even tri-weekly, it feels like, and just how excited I am for other stuff that I read. It's just sometimes I feel myself kind of putting that UC Undiscovered Country on the back burner in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
not so much when it comes to terms of reading, because I know that all three of us hosts here at the Comic Bookies podcast all read that story, and I kind of try to read the ones that I know we all read that we're going to discuss, 100%. Try to keep those fresh in my mind. So, I'll kind of read those last, save the best for last, if you will. But sometimes I don't know if I really am saving the best for last when it comes to, Undiscovered Country, with Scott Snyder obviously having so many other, ventures and stuff that he's doing. So.
Yeah, like personally, I thought Noctera ended up being a better story so far than Undiscovered Country. I think Noctera, where it's going to go, after 17 issues of Noctera, when it comes back, I think I'm going to like that more than Undiscovered Country, honestly, because they've lost me on a couple aspects of the story that they visited earlier. Like, remember when the kid, he was looking at the coin, he could tell from the color or how it aged, like he's like, oh, it hasn't really been 50 years, like it's aged so much longer. Like if you stayed here, it's felt like so much longer, you know what I'm saying? And they never revisited that. They haven't gone back in time.
Ace?
Huh?
That Ace?
They haven't gone back in time to before the closing in an issue or two. Like I need to have that Tarantino where I go back and forth, and so I kind of get a backstory familiar in my mind. When right now they're just in like that land, you know what I'm saying? They're just in the current land that they're in, and I mean, at least there's a new villain. That new villain looks pretty badass. So we'll see. I don't know, but yeah, I'm excited to see where James Bond goes. That's always going to be just a kick-ass book,
Those books are good, dude.
It's only going to be 5 issues.
Give me 5-6 books.
Every
Bond
time.
Just doing his thing. It's always a chick. He's always got the chick in it,
Alien was pretty good. Like Alien's been solid, actually. It's in the second issue of their next arc, so that's going to be cool. Batman the Imposter was actually pretty good. Another Black Label story, so that was pretty good. No AWA for me this week, but yeah. That's pretty.
Oh, Awa?
No, Awa. No, it's not Cristiano Ronaldo. Awa.
Awa.
Yeah, but actually, this is my second book that I'm reading when it has something to do with Lee Harvey Oswald. So regarding the matter of Oswald's body, it's gonna be interesting. Kind of caught my eye, so I'll see this one. I think it's one of those 4 or 6 issue miniseries. But one last thing of comics before we go into the news: how did you like Human Target #1?
Dude, I was just going to tell you, man. I was actually saving these for last. You can't just ask me about Human Target without asking me about New Burn 1.
That's right. That's your
dude,
pull of the week from last week. That's right.
I got 2 great offerings. Ooh. And it leaves me in a bind here because, I leave myself questioning, which one do I pull? Do I do both? And I'm kind of thinking, and I pose to you this question: how many Tom King stories do you think have we been reading in the last year or two?
Like 5. And then I actually want to pick up Mr. Miracle. I can't believe I didn't do that, because I think issue 1's probably going to be worth a lot, in the next coming years or decades, because that was a really good story. But yeah, his Batman run, and then the Heroes in Crisis, I think he wrote, and then what else? Strange Adventures.
Batman Catwoman
that we're currently reading right now, and then you're reading Human Target. Yeah, it's been at least
I read
5
Human
stories.
Target #1. Total Tom King writing, total Tom King story. You can totally tell, and it's just that's what I'm leaving myself to question. Let me know, fans, if you guys are in the chat. If you guys, leave us a comment on our social media, Twitter, if you will. But dude, just I don't know. I kind of want to. I think it's going to be 12 issues, like you said, another year of a Tom King story. That's kind of how I feel, Mike. But, dude, they're just so good.
You're never going to get rid of them.
This one's a little bit, different. It kind of reminds me more of a Strange Adventure because it's more of not a Batman or, it's kind of obviously it's more of a character that I'm not familiar with in this type of what do you call this guy? He's like a hitman pretty much. They hire, like, rich people hire him to fake himself out or to like pretend to be in this first issue. I mean, if there's any spoilers, earmuffs on, spoiler alert, but someone's out to get Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor hires him, and he takes a bullet Obviously not in the head, but I mean, it's a pretty good story, dude. I do enjoy it, but I kind of enjoy New Burn a little bit more by Chip Zdarsky and Image. Image comes again with some fire, dude.
Yeah.
It's just the type of, I called it like a mafia mystery pretty much. So, the antagonist is pretty much a ex, I don't even know so much how much of a cop that he is, but he's pretty much, I think, kind of like an ex mobster type dude and the cops. So pretty much there's a crime that involves some kilos, you feel me? Some of that, I mean, some of that cocainas, right? So
Yeah.
you got the mobsters, and he comes in to investigate, and there's no reason for him to be there. Kind of some cops call him in. The cops could be dirty. We don't know yet, but people are questioning, what is he doing here? He comes in, but the dude's so smart. He's just like FBI Detective 101, and he's just sniffing stuff out. Pretty much at the end of the day, the chick that's living at the apartment pretty much kind of was in on it with the mobster, and one of the mobsters is like in jail now, and he goes, and this dude, the main guy, goes to visit him, and basically the guy thinks he's gonna get him out and got like better words for him. He's like, no, you're gonna do time, you effed up, and that's that. And like he goes back to the apartments, and he talks to the chick, and he takes the painting off the wall, and there it is, the fake, the plaster, the fresh plaster, where the hole in the wall where the kilos were kept. So she was in on it, and he basically wants to team up with her now. Dude, it was a wild story.
Dang.
Like it was real good. New Burn by Chip Zdarsky, Jacob Phillips. And
Nice.
I mean, I'm pulling this one for sure. And the only reason why I'm in question of even pulling Human Target is because this one came out the same week.
Yeah,
But,
Chip's good, man. Stillwater is one of my favorite Image books too. Like it's still going strong. They're building like this whole like little universe of their like Stillwater is that community where you don't age. People who go in out they're not welcome. And it's so
I'm glad.
looks like he's got some fire books.
You know what? I'm glad you're actually still reading that, because I did enjoy it. I just think that, like I said before, I treat my comics book stories that I read at times kind of like the stocks that I hold. Sometimes you just got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? Know when to sell them, know when to pull them, know when to stop reading them. And, and you enjoyed it to keep pulling it. I enjoyed it for the first 4 or 5 issues, but I kind of just dropped it, and you just keep telling me that you enjoy it. So I'm glad that you kept reading it, so I can kind of live vicariously through you with the Stillwater, and just kind of you do the same with me through me with some books, I'm sure,
Yeah.
I know you're not reading Made in Korea, but I talk about it so damn much. But
Right? Yeah, you and Sean are enjoying that.
Nonetheless, good books last week. Enjoyed it. I wish Primordia was a little bit better. I got Batman, which you didn't read, which was decent. I still am liking a detective a lot more than I'm liking Batman. Kind of sucks. Tynion, I know he's not going to be on it, but he kind of gave up on the story as he's handing it off to Williamson, right? He's just like, here.
Well, that was that was 116, right? Yeah,
that is 116.
So
correct.
He's only got what, one more, right? Because 118
That's right.
because 118 is Williamson. So adios to James
Oh,
Tynion.
no, dude, no wonder. I knew there was something up these last couple issues. It just as I'm reading it, I just don't feel it.
Man.
Batman was pretty. I felt like the writing, and now it's kind of like just going through the motions in these Batman books for some
Well, you
reason.
know what? We have him. I have him in Department of Truth. We have him on Nice House on the Lake. He's still giving us much to talk about on this podcast. So that's the book for this week.
Might be better than Batman right now.
I know. So if you have any recommendations, like we say every single week, for mainstream books, to small time publishers that we usually don't even talk about, please reach out to us, make us recommendations. Or if you yourself are a writer or an artist, please reach out to us. We will plug your book. We'll have you on the show. Reach out to us. Our email is thecomicbookies@gmail.com. All right, so we have a couple pieces of news, some headlines in the comics/entertainment world. We were talking about it right before we started recording, Mark, but the new poster of Spider-Man No Way Home. You said there's a couple more Spider-Men, and what I see, I don't know which one you saw, but I saw right over his shoulder in the distance is Green Goblin. I see the legs of, Doc Ock. I see some sand going through. I don't know if that's dust or whatever, but I see sand, maybe like Sandman. Dude, I'm getting like a Sinister Six vibe here. That there's going to be 6 different villains that are going to come back, and he's going to have to, this whole new multiverse thing. I don't even know what to expect because, you knew kind of what to expect in the first 2 Spider-Man movies, but now that this whole thing with WandaVision and Loki has happened, you have no idea what the hell is going to happen in this whole universe. I still didn't finish What If, so I don't know if that has any ties in because allegedly it does at the very last episode of What If. So what if it does? I don't know, but I'm excited. And I think it's a movie theater.
What's this one called? Spider-Man. What is it? Get your ass home.
No Way Home. I know. Your GPS doesn't work. There's no way home.
Get your ass home, down, Peter Parker. Get your ass home.
Oh man. In other movie news, No Time to Die, the James Bond movie that has been out in theaters for a month, is now officially today, as we record, November 9th, 2021, is now available to rent. I actually don't know where you can rent it, if it's like Paramount Plus or Peacock or Netflix or HBO Max or whatever the hell, Amazon, but somewhere you can rent it for $19.99 if you haven't already seen it in the theaters. That is exactly what I'm going to do one of the days of my upcoming long weekend this week. Will you be diving into James Bond on your TV screen instead of the silver screen, sir?
How do you feel about that? $19.99 to rent a movie.
I mean, we did $30 for Cruella. We did $30 for Jungle Cruise. We did
that. Just
what I'm saying? It's like $20 is way easier because I would easily pay the 15 the 15 each for my wife, and we're gonna get some popcorn. We're gonna go to the liquor store and get some cheap candy and soda pops, But so that turns into a $40-$50 a night for only $20.
I just feel like the whole way the world is going, Facebook, not FB anymore, but it's going to be Meta, not Meta World Peace, but the metaverse, right? It's just, dude, I talk to my niece sometimes, and it's like she doesn't even, like, kids these days feel like they don't even want to go out.
No,
it's like you got this metaverse, you got this Oculus, you got these NFTs. It's like
we're gonna be like antisocial,
It's like it's like we're gonna be living in this like virtual world, dude, where it's like we're gonna have this podcast and we're gonna meet up and we're gonna have like a virtual stage, and then people can like be virtually like watching us, and like it's just I feel like everything is set up these days to like. I talked to my sister-in-law. She's like, oh, my God, I tried, like, Amazon food delivery. I'm like, oh, like, Instacart? She's like, I don't even have to leave my house. And I'm like, dude, that's the problem. Like, that's what I'm so scared of. Like, everything is, like, set up, right? And, like, you mentioned $19.99 to rent James Bond, right? That's cool. And I admit, like, it's way cheaper than going to the theaters. But obviously the theaters is an experience, right? But, I mean, you obviously have experience when these damn TVs in your house are getting up to like 75, 80 inches, right? Where you got these humongous TVs. People got these surround sound systems. And it's like, it's so much comfortable. You got groceries delivered to your house. You got, Uber pick you up. You got, DoorDash bring you food. It's just... the way technology is going, it's almost like we're getting to the point. And then we have these damn lockdowns for COVID. It's supposed to be 2 weeks to stop the spread. It's just like, it's crazy that we're still dealing with like COVID restrictions in certain areas, not so much restrictions, but mandates on masks still and what have you. But it's just crazy that the way of the world right now, in my opinion, it feels like Jesus, like we're just, it's like you want us to just be at home 24/7, like,
and then you wonder why people complain that they're so like socially awkward. It's like
no communication.
Well, but like how would me and you now go to a bar and try to talk to a girl, like flirt with her, like buy her a drink, like how would she react to us approaching them now, or like vice versa? How would girls approach men? Like do they even do that? Because like I've been out of the game since 2000 for almost 10 years now, as far as going out with friends and being living like the single life. So that's what I'm kind of worried about too, is like I don't want our kids to grow up and feel like they can't go outside and like talk to people, because like my daughter, she's like really out there, like, hi, my name's Maddie. Like we always joke, like, Maddie, you're gonna get kidnapped one of these days because you just talk to everybody, oh, what's that, candy? Oh yeah, sure. Like she's just like out there, she's just so friendly, she's like willing to talk to people,
kids.
she's not really shy at all. And I don't want her to like grow up and have a Zoom this and oh, it's okay,
What?
I can buy everything I need. I don't have to go to Target or the grocery store or the market or the movie theaters. Everything I can sit on my ass and do it, and then it comes to me, whether it's on my TV or my computer screen or to the front door.
Well, just think about it. Like, you got doctors, right? And it's like my dad gets fed up. Obviously, my dad's like in his mid-70s, right? Worked for Kaiser his whole life, pretty much, since he came to the States. And, it's just like he feels like he wants to be treated with a little bit more respect. I obviously get it. It's the pandemic. But the way of the world that it changed after the pandemic, it's like my dad's trying to get doctor's appointments, and they just want to set them up with like Zoom calls and emails. And my dad's like, it's like BS in a way, because it's like you pay for health insurance, and now you got like these doctors making whatever 200,000-300,000, however much these doctors making all types of money, and all they have to do is sit in their office and push emails and have Zoom calls with like patients now. Like, no, like, you're a doctor, see your patient, face-to-face interactions, which I know they're still doing. I'm not going to sit here and just rag on all like the healthcare systems, but at the end of the day, it's just it's just, I feel like everything just wants to go so digital and so virtual. And so some of it is cool. Like, it was fun, like playing games virtually and like having 3D glass. I have a 3D TV downstairs. Remember how popular those were for a couple years? You would buy the TV and they came with the 4 glasses, and you would press the button and you could watch TV 3D. I mean, those things were around for about 5 years. I still got one. That's how old my TV is, but it's a Samsung. It's pretty good TV. I'm not going to give up on it. But nonetheless, that gave up quick. And now it's just like you got Oculus, Metaverse. It's just scary what's happening, man. I just hope that we don't become such a like virtual world where it's just
and then and then COVID has a lot to do with it now too.
Accelerated that.
It's so people who are on, unfortunately, I don't want to like call sides, but you have one side who's like wants to go back to a normal life. And this has nothing to do with politics. It's just like, wanting to get, rid of the COVID, the pandemic, and kind of they want to get back to a normal, way of life. They want to go out and do things. They want to go to a park or to the movies or to a restaurant, you know what I'm saying? And then you have another side who are, I wouldn't say scared still, but they're like, they're okay with everything being digitized as well. Like, you have a huge amount of the population who don't care. They're like, oh, I don't care. Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really go to the movies anyways, but now I can see every movie I wanted to, and I don't have to get up and drive, and it's cheaper. Hell yeah.
And not even
like, you have people who are enabling it, which is whatever. Some things it is cheaper or whatever. It's fine. But then you have people who they want to go out. So again, it's like divided,
And not even that, you're going to be able to meet up with your buddies in the metaverse and show off your NFTs. And then you're going to be able to watch the movie with them in your personal movie theater, in your mansion, in your digital world, dude. It's just, dude.
It's like The Sims. It's like a real life Sims.
Yeah, thank you. The Sims of 2030, dude. It's coming.
Yeah,
scary.
Whatever. Okay, back to the news. I have 3 more little headlines. Miss Gal Gadot will play the evil queen in a live-action Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs movie. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if she still plays like the evil, like when she goes like super evil and she gets all ugly and stuff, which I don't know. I don't want to see Gal Gadot in any type of makeup that makes her look like what the evil queen's supposed to look like when she's going to poison Snow White.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Letitia Wright. She is T'Challa, Black Panther's sister in the movie Black Panther. She is injured while filming Black Panther 2, and it has since been halted. So filming of the movie has been halted due to one of the leads of Black Panther 2, Letitia Wright. She has been injured. So that sucks. Don't know what they're going to do, Now, the Eternals wins the domestic weekend with $71 million, and I don't get this. The news reports this, but they say, you know, despite
That it did bad.
despite bad reviews. No, like it won the weekend, so it got the most money. But like, despite bad reviews, and then they started going in like of the telecast of like the newscasters, like one or two of them was like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go see it because I see these bad reviews. I was like, you are tripping. I have never once not gone to see a movie because one guy gave it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like, screw you. I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes says. No offense. I don't care what you say. If I was interested, I'm gonna go freaking see it. If I'm interested in a book, if it previews, it's like, you know what? So and so says Cross the Bear's not very good. I'm gonna go read it. At least the first issue. I'm gonna go watch the movie. You know what? So, I mean, it can't be that bad. It can't be Thor Dark World. Squiggles, what's up? He says we are his faves. He or she, sorry. I don't want to assume. But thank you, Squiggles. Thank you so much for jumping in the chat. You know what? It's been a while, I think, Squiggles. It's been a month or two since we've heard from you, so glad that you are back in the chat.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, dude,
So yeah, 71 million ticket sales.
I want to go see it.
71 million in ticket sales from release in almost 4,100 theaters. Fourth best U.S. opening weekend of the pandemic era, joining Marvel-inspired titles Venom, Let There Be Carnage at 90 million, Black Widow at 80 million, and Shang-Chi, The Legend of Ten Rings at 75.3 million. So, yeah, Eternals did pretty good. It's obviously not going to be played in China due to critical remarks made by its director, the China-born Oscar-winning filmmaker, Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao, yeah.
Zhao, dude, shout out Chloe Zhao. I love you for that because, man, I think the remarks have to be made. It's not just about money all the time. It's about human rights, and it's really about, people having, freedom of life and freedom of choice and whatnot. So, and we know sometimes, obviously, the Chinese government probably bans from the Comic Bookie podcast being out there. But nonetheless, I think that Eternals is going to keep making money. Anything that Marvel puts out, like Alex says, Marvel doesn't care about comic books. They care about the big screen. And, it is what it is. I wish that they would put a little bit of more time and effort into some of their books because, they're obviously classics, but feels like the only one that really people give a damn about is that Peter Parker and that Amazing Spider-Man. But, But they're still going to be pumping it out, dude. They're still pumping it out. They're still going to have Doctor Strange, Thor, Black Panther.
Hawkeye gets his own series. How many of these shows are going to get a season 2? Like Loki's already set for a season 2, so they have so many more things to come out. But yeah, they're on a somewhat of a downward trend because I heard Shang-Chi was pretty good, but if they're, if the Eternals isn't going to do that well, they better, they have Spider-Man coming out in a month and a half or just over, 5 or 6 weeks. That's going to rake in the dough, dude. The dough. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I have. If you have another one.
One last piece of news before we continue. Not really even news, but just condolences to Astroworld and the victims.
Dude,
man,
no.
I've never been a part of something that crazy and that massive. I get to concerts. I usually have a seat. I don't care if I'm like kind of more like nosebleeds or halfway in between the pit and the nosebleeds, but dude, just I don't know. It might actually be Squiggles that's on here. If Squiggles is still on here, let us know. If you ever been in the mosh pit. But I had one of my boy Ben tell me that, he's like, dude, it's like you feel like you really can't breathe. I've never experienced that, but you figure, I heard on a podcast today, the guy was saying you have, obviously there's probably different stages at this event, right? It's kind of like a festival. So you have this stage, that stage, and you have the main stage. Obviously, Travis Scott's playing, but you might have like 20,000 people at that stage, and 20,000 people when they hear, Travis Scott's about to play, they start rushing towards that main stage. And it's just that influx of people and just, man, it's just sad state of affairs to hear 8 people dying at a concert. Because we saw, Mike, I told you about that Woodstock '99 documentary on HBO Max that you checked out,
Yeah, I
and
watched
that
it.
thing became. I mean, that thing became a shit show. What Limp Bizkit and how the promoters were trying to blame it all on MTV, and I
Hmm.
mean, dude, that was a great documentary, dude.
I
I
really enjoyed
enjoyed
it
it
too.
thoroughly. But dude, like 8 people didn't die, and that thing fires everywhere, girls getting harassed because of the Girls Gone Wild days, and just yeah, I mean, the way they portrayed it, it was pretty wild because I kind of remember those days. But dude, 8 people dying at a music festival,
Yeah, I mean,
sad in the
hmm
Houston area, on top of the guy supposedly injecting people with
oh
shit with a needle.
God.
Oh my God. I mean, what are we doing, Texas?
I know.
I mean,
I
geez.
saw I saw a tweet the other day and it said, it was, I don't know who it was from, but they posted it. It said, "First rule of a mosh pit: if you see someone fall, you pick them up." So it's like, people didn't
I
care.
mean, and you've
People
been
didn't
throwing your
care.
shade too.
Hmm?
You've been throwing your shade with you've been part of a couple Mike pits. You've
Mosh
been
pits.
part of a couple mosh pits,
Yes,
Mike.
like I've been a
And you've
couple.
been throwing your shade. And what have you said? What have Mr. Travis Scott supposed to do?
Supposed to stop the show. I mean,
Stop
like
the
he didn't
show.
stop the show. You had,
That's why he's getting all the smoke right now.
yeah, and then you
That's
have
why
other people
he's
like,
paying
yeah,
everyone back.
hmm
Every single concert goer that went, every single ticket, he's refunding
he's paying for
everybody.
funerals too, I
A,
believe.
a 9-year-old is suing them. Drake, Champagne Poppy, he's getting sued right now too. He's part of, dude. It's just Live
Yeah,
Nation.
yeah, Live
If you
Nation too.
like
Yeah,
if you like the short stocks, iHeartRadio and Live Nation, maybe keep that an eye on your radar and check those charts because those things might get a little bit of a downtrend in the
yeah.
upcoming days if this thing continues on
I
because
mean, like,
it's not a good look.
yeah, I mean, I've been in mosh pits too where there's like a section in the middle that people are like standing, whether they need a break or whatever, or like if like someone like dropped their wallet and like you see someone like pick it up, go into the middle of the mosh pit, like, hey, I got someone's wallet. Like, it's just a different vibe. Like maybe I don't know if it was like the more electronic or like rap music, like if it was that crowd, But like whenever I've been to a metal show, the craziest thing I've ever seen was when Lamb of God was playing and we were at Shoreline. If no one knows, Shoreline's an amphitheater, so obviously it goes upward, an upward angle. So we're in the lawn and it goes down, and we're towards the front of the lawn area, not involved in this, but they call it the Wall of Death. And before they start the song, it's like they spread people apart. And then it's like, and then he goes 3, 2, 1, and they just like go ape shit, right? And then the two, the wall of death, they come together, boom, right? And they're just like moshing and like, going up against each other. And then finally that big crowd kind of like, there's a bunch of people who like fell and they like fell at our feet. I was like, oh crap. But like me and my brother and his friend, we turn around, we help people up and stuff. And then everyone just disappears and goes and does their business and just goes into like starts more mosh pits. It wasn't like that big of a deal. And to see something like this happen, it sucks.
Jeez. And
It sucks.
it's I heard it's like cardiac arrest and it's just I mean you got to think about it. Obviously you're at a concert, so who knows, like I mean I'm not accusing obviously anybody of doing anything, but at the end of the day there are concerts, so there's weed being smoked. Who else knows what, like, ecstasy and all, other types of drugs that might have been being consumed. And when you mix like drugs in with that type of hectic event and 20,000 inrush, like when I first read the headlines, a crowd surge, I was like, what the hell is a crowd surge, right?
Yeah.
It's just, wow. Like, man, I would have never thought that, I've been to concerts with that general admission seating on the floor, and I never partake in it, but I've never seen it get that scary. I mean, that's some scary shit, man. So rest in
sucks.
peace to the eight fallen concert goers that attended. You go there to have a good time, and tragic things happen at times. So it sucks. It's the way of the world, and you never know when it's your time to go. So just enjoy every day, enjoy your life, and enjoy listening to this podcast. But our condolences to the
internet or social media, you can never really truly believe, but I did see something today that they released names and ages, and they were like all like in their 20s, I think, or like most of them in their 20s. So just
there was like a 14 and a 16-year-old.
oh, you know
also.
what? Yeah, I did see. I did see teens upwards, and of course the 9-year-olds in like critical condition. So But yeah, that sucks. Joe, what's going on? Thank you so much for jumping in the chat too.
Joe.
He's asking if we talk about Henry Ruggs. We did last week, but we'll touch it on it again as we're going to our mid-episode break. This has been the
We're definitely gonna Ruggs.
Yeah, Ruggs.
Arnett. Oh
Yeah.
God, the shit show that is.
We'll get into it.
We'll
get into it, all of that and more on the Comic Bookies podcast. But we're going to take a little quick break to grab a drink and maybe go to the bathroom or whatever, just to re-oil the gears. And we'll be right back with sports. So stay tuned, everyone.
He's all NASCAR right now. Stick with us, guys.
I know, right?
It's gonna get
I'm out of
good right
football,
now.
but yeah, no, we'll be right back after these.
It's gonna get good.
After
Let's
this
go.
Superman song. Take care.
Stick with us. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Comic Bookies podcast, where we will now tell you to make sure that both of the legs are left and right on your brand new TVs. Thank you so much for joining us if you're watching us live right now on YouTube and Twitch, or if you listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. But, all right, Mark, let's do it, dude. Let's start it. Number 5. Here it is.
Just get it out of the way now.
Oh, man. The end of the NASCAR season was phenomenal. Loved it. Loved every second of it. It was definitely a nail biter. Unfortunately, I was going from my house to my parents' house to pick up my daughter from a sleepover, have dinner. So, unfortunately, I had to actually watch it live on my phone. But Kyle Larson.
But thanks to this new technology in your virtual world that we just talked about,
exactly,
you're able to do that.
My YouTube TV right? On my phone. I was watching it live in the passenger seat of my car. But number 5 from Hendrick Motorsports takes it a year after just thought his career might have been over. But he takes it, his 10th win of the season at Phoenix. Hoist it. Raise it up. Raise a glass. I was online, like I told you earlier, getting my flag, my hoodie, my hat, all the gear.
You know what?
Man, what a good feeling.
I'll tell you the honest to God truth. And I told you going into this that he's a Northern California boy. Obviously, he grew up about an hour away from where we're from, right? And obviously by the capital of California, in Sacramento. He's from Elk Grove, and I thought, I liked him going into it. But what did I tell you, Mike? If you go back to episode 131 that we recorded last week, you obviously picked him. He's your driver. You obviously, Sean, you picked for him, saying Chase. I said, might as well. I'll go with Hamlin, right? Yeah. Hamlin. He's hungry. He's this. He's that. If it wasn't for that, caution flag at the end with like 30, 40 to go, that it was
25, 27.
So, Hamlin was coming on. He was coming on strong. I think Hamlin would have had something for, everyone in that field. But at the end of the day, the caution came. And at the end of the day, this, my guys, everybody out there is why this competitive motorsport is my favorite. There's Indy, there's Formula One, there's rally, there's all types of sports cars. There's all types of racing. MotoGP. I showed you the crazy.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, but dude, this is why I love NASCAR. This is why, to me, it's the best form of racing that we have, at least here in the United States, to consume my time with, because this is why I get so excited why we practice. This is why we practice, Mike. This is why we qualify. Yes, Kyle Larson has been the best car. Yes, Kyle Larson has been dominant. Couple road courses. He's won on every type of track on the circuit that we have. 10 wins, obviously, that proves his dominance. But if he wouldn't have qualified, if we didn't have practice last week, if we wouldn't have qualification last week, right? Or we did have it, but this is why he still had to go bust his ass. That team, that driver had to set up that car. That driver had to go get that qualification spot and qualify number 1, over Chase, to be able to get that number 1 pit stall. And at the end of the day, that number 1 pit stall is what won Kyle Larson. Not just the number 1 pit stall, but the pit crew in general. Yep. You got that number 1 stall. You got the pit crew. They hit it. He got out of there. They had a short run car, and that's exactly what they needed to win the championship. And back-to-back years, Hendrick Motorsports gets it with the 9 last year, with the 5 this year. Shout out to Rick. He knew what he was doing when he got this kid from Northern California, and I couldn't be more excited for you, my co-host, Mike. I'm a Ford fan. I'm a Logano fan. I always tell you, and you've known this ever since you've known me and you've liked NASCAR, I've told you, if Larson was in a Ford, you knew who my guy would be. So I go for manufacturer first, and then I go for my guy second. So congratulations, Mike. Congratulations, Kyle Larson. You are a champion. You'll never let cancel culture cancel you out, man. And it what a ride, dude. I mean, 10 wins. 10 wins, dude. Just awesome season. Thank you. And I'm glad that you're a fan of Kyle Larson, because I got you into NASCAR.
Did.
You became a fan of the kid. I don't know. I don't even know why you're a fan. Probably because he's from Northern Cali. I don't remember.
That's what I picked.
But,
I mean, I went over to your house for the Daytona 500. You know, my wife came too. We all had, it was like a big party, big thing. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, like, you know, of course, I didn't really like. I really didn't care. I was more of there for a kick it, you know. And then all of a sudden, you said, "You're like, Mike, come on, just sit down, watch about 20. This is Daytona, so like sit down there for like a half hour, watch like 20 laps." So I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, I was like, you know what? And I think we were like getting into gambling as well. So we were like going online, and it's like, oh, so who do you think's gonna win? Oh, here's the odds on like manufacturer, or here's the matchups. Here's like who's gonna win. And then you were like. And then you told me and Sean, you're like, oh, you got to pick a driver. You got to pick a driver too, so you can like root for him at the same time. And you were like these are the young guns. You got Chase Elliott, you got Ryan Blaney, and you got Kyle Larson. This Kyle Larson, man, he's really good, and he's actually from California.
I did tell you guys that.
So I was like, you know what? Because I almost went for it was either Kyle Larson or Ryan Blaney, because like Ryan Blaney was familiar to me because it would have been the same team as Logano. So I was like, oh, like we could root for like Penske together. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with the California guy, a guy from California. So, yeah. 6 years later, he's a champion. He's like the fifth different driver from Hendrick Motorsports, I think, to win a championship. I think it was Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and Terry or Bobby Labonte.
Wait, say that again?
He's the fifth different Hendrick Motorsports driver to win a championship. It was Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, like Terry Labonte, I think, or Bobby Labonte. One of the Labonte brothers or cousins or whatever they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad that you told me that right now, because I, as big as a NASCAR fan that I am, I've actually never thought about that. So you're telling me that they have the most championships well, I think besides Petty, right? Or maybe not, but they have 14 or 15 championships, I think?
With just 5 drivers.
And with 4 drivers?
5, yeah.
Jesus, 5 drivers, yeah, dude. And think about it. They had Kyle Busch at one point. Kyle Busch was driving the 5.
Oh wow!
And they gave, or his contract was up or something. But I know at one point Kyle Busch was signed with Hendrick Motorsports. So, dude,
dang.
I mean, Rick knows how to find talent. To just no one had anything for Hendrick this year. I told you guys that. I think that Gibbs actually would have had something for Hendrick if it was a longer run. If like you said, 27 laps. I think if it would have been 47, I think that Truex and
Truex was on his ass for a minute. He was 0.6, 0.5 seconds away, and then he would get back down to over a second. But he was going back and forth. I don't know if Larson would have held on if it was another 10 laps.
Yeah. So, sorry, Sean, but all I give a damn is that Hamlin passed, because I even told your brother this, Mike. I said, take Hamlin to finish in the top 3, right? Mm-hmm. That's all I said. And he was 4th, and he passed Chase Elliott with 10 to go, 8 to go to get into that third position, nice. Running that high line right against that fence, kind of doing the Kyle Larson to try to. I mean, Hamlin, dude, it sucks, dude. In my opinion, dude. I mean, I know I talk about JGR, I talk about the Toyotas, I talk about this, but at the end of the day, Denny Hamlin has been a driver in this sport pretty much since I've been a fan in 06, 07. It's going on, dude, damn near almost 20 years, 15, 20 years since I've been a NASCAR fan. That's crazy. But nonetheless, dude, I mean, I remember Hamlin just being in it this whole time, dude, and just to see how good he is and see how his sponsor has been so loyal to him and that FedEx Toyota team, and just, it kind of sucks, dude. I know deep down inside he wants to cry, We saw Larson crying, and well-deserved, but man, how many times has Hamlin been there and been so damn close, and he just cannot win a championship? He's going to go down as one of the top, I think there's 4 or 5 drivers to have 25 plus wins and never win a championship.
Dang.
And I mean, Hamlin, dude, I mean, good dude. You can say what you want about him, but at the end of the day, he's a competitor. He goes out there, in my opinion, he races people fair. And just, man, he was there. He got there to Phoenix. He's been there a couple times in this championship race. And the poor guy from Chesterfield, Virginia, he just can't get it done. It sucks, but he's got another year. He's got another couple years to try to get it done. At the end of the day, I hope that, he has another opportunity to try to get another championship.
Yeah.
Just as long as it's not in the hands of Joey Logano or your boy Kyle Larson again, man.
Yeah, I know. Hey, and then Joey Logano tweeted he's like 22 in 2022, so we'll see.
I don't give a damn because you know what? I'm the one that tweeted that first. Don't tell me. I said that first.
I know.
Dude. I was pissed.
But no, but
I was pissed.
But you're
dude.
right about Hendrick.
You can't go into 20.
Go ahead.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's going to be a complete toss-up year. Gen 6 car, who knows who the hell's going to perform. True. A couple years back, the Fords were performing. The last 2 seasons, the Chevrolets and Hendrick have been kicking ass, obviously winning the last 2 championships. And now with this whole new car coming out, who the hell knows who's going to hit it? Brad Keselowski's going to be at Roush Fenway, RFK Racing. You're going to have, Austin Cindric teaming up with Blaney out there at Team Penske. Obviously, you're still going to have the same stable at Hendrick Motorsports with more sports at Hendrick Motorsports. At Hendrick Motorsports with Bowman and Byron.
Bowman had like 4 wins this year.
Byron cost me hella money this season.
Right?
You get the hell out of here, dude. I keep betting against Byron. The dude's been balling out, dude, with his crew chief. He's got a funny name, dude, but Rudy Fugle. Yeah, that's his name. Crew chief Rudy Fugle.
The team to look for is Stuart Haas. They really have to improve over this next year, and because you can't. I mean, come on.
Almirola has always been subpar his whole career.
I mean, he's a playoff driver at least, but besides Harvick, there's nothing really.
I mean, Chase Briscoe, Rookie of the Year this year. I mean, he's got to give him time.
Rookie of the Year this year, but I saw him DNF as many times as I did see him finish in the top 10 or 12, including on Sunday. So I mean. So I don't know, but I mean,
the General Cole Custer, number 41.
Yeah, I mean he got that win. I think at Kansas last year, one of the last races to propel him into the round of 8 or whatever.
But, I give him the benefit of the doubt because even Harvick didn't do that good this year. Mr. 9-win Harvick last year.
That's true.
You got to kind of wait, see what Stuart Haas. Look, don't be surprised if the teams that didn't hit it this year hit it next year, because those might have been the teams that just were giving up on this season and said, we don't give a damn about these cars. We're already building the cars for the future
like
in our Gen 6. Yeah.
Suarez and Kurt Busch there.
Watch that. Is it?
Right? Isn't
Kurt Busch is with Bubba Wallace, jackass.
That's right. Oh, they're having a second car to 2311?
2345.
2345.
When I come back like Jordan wearing the 4-5,
God.
It ain't to play games with you. It's an aim at you. Probably main with
you. Who's the second car now of Trackhouse? Isn't Trackhouse
you got Suarez 99, and isn't it Chastain?
I thought it was the 42. Okay, so
no,
42.
It's Busch. Kurt Busch. No. Oh, you got me confused because I'm thinking of Chip Ganassi. No. Kurt Busch is going to Toyota. He's a Toyota driver now. He's going to be with Bubba Wallace, and he's going to be driving the number 45 car. Bubba Wallace is driving the 23. At Trackhouse, you're going to have the 99 and Ross Chastain, I think.
In the 1 or 42? Or is it a completely different number? I don't know. We'll figure it out before the clash at the LA Coliseum.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I know. So we have a lot of football and other sports, basketball and hockey.
Sorry, we went a little bit long on NASCAR, but at least you guys don't have to hear it for another 3 months.
Yeah.
So bear with us.
Besides me bragging about Kyle Larson winning the championship between now and the third week of February, because now we have one extra week of the NFL, it's not the second week of February, it is now the third week of February that the Daytona 500 will occur. But before we get to the NFL, let's talk a little NBA. So Mark, the Warriors, they win again yesterday. Like Sean said, they are what? They're the only team still with only one loss? Are they
9-1?
Yeah, dude. So, what say you?
What do you think,
dude?
Have you been keeping up? I know the NBA is your favorite sport.
It's my favorite sport.
How much have you been keeping up on it?
I when I see the Warriors play, I don't kind of keep up to date on what time they play, but when I get it on my watch or on my phone, the Warriors start. Sometimes I'll turn it on for a quarter or so. I won't sit there and watch a whole game, but out of their 10 games so far, I probably tuned into about 4 or 5 of them, about half of the games. Yeah.
The Warriors almost are like must-watch TV. This dude Curry, he's just coming into himself.
Sometimes I'm at work, half the days out of the weeks, 7 out of 14 days I'm at work when they usually play. So it's kind of hard to watch. So I try to watch them on my days off, my evenings off.
The Warriors 9-1 in the Western Conference, obviously 9-1 in the whole league. They are leading the Utah Jazz by 1.5 games, sitting at 8-3. Utah is. Dallas sitting at 7-3. The Suns, your last Western Conference champions, at 6-3, 2.5 games back.
Yeah.
You got the Los Angeles Lakers sitting in 8th, man. 6-5, kind of mediocre, 3.5 games back. It's a long season, but dude, you got the Sacramento Kings that have showed us a little bit of fight. You got the Portland Trail Blazers that have been a perennial kind of playoff team as of late.
Sean's Bulls. Sean's Bulls are tied for first in the East.
But that's a whole dude. I'm just talking, dude. I think that this NBA season is actually going to be real, real good. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. I'm excited. You got Miami Heat 7-3, tied with the Bulls 7-3. The Wizards. Who would have thought the Wizards would have been this good? Right. I know it's early. I keep saying it because the Nets are still favored here at about 2.5, 3-1 to win this NBA title for 21-22. With Kevin Durant. Obviously, maybe they think that Kyrie coming back, but man, I don't think that boy coming back. So those odds might start dropping. You're going to start seeing Golden State creeping their way up from their 9-10, 8-1 position, depending on what book you're shopping at right now. But you're going to start seeing Golden State creeping up in there because you got a 9-1 team sitting at 9-1. With Clay coming back, if this dude and Curry can hit it, these veteran players with, Wiggins and obviously Draymond Green, another veteran up in there, dude, this team, I'm telling you, watch out.
It's always the NBA is obviously always better when the Warriors are good, but you know what team that makes the NBA better when they're good in a playoff team, I think, is the Knicks. I always like to see the Knicks doing well. I could give a rat's ass if they're going to win the championship, but when they're up there in the top, 5, 6, 7 teams, even a division winner, I think it's more intriguing. Obviously, the Bulls not as much. It doesn't feel that way ever since Jordan's been gone, but I don't know. Something about the Knicks, I always like to see them good. And then I'm a fan.
Yeah, but think about it. We get an Eastern Conference with the Bulls back and the Knicks back.
I know, right? This is like 1990. This is Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan basketball over again. Look at the Suns with Charles Barkley sitting in fourth.
If the playoffs were to start today, the 5-6 Milwaukee Bucks, 2.5 back from the Miami Heat, would not be in the playoffs.
And the Warriors would be playing the Lakers in the first round.
That's right, and we'd be killing them because we're because Kyle Larson, Northern Cali, roots for the Warriors, right? He's probably more of
even though he was spending all the last couple of days in L.A., he went to the Lakers game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Being interviewed in front of the Coliseum. So
that's for the media. The media has to twist that shit. That boy don't give a damn about the Lakers. He's a Northern Cali kid, either Kings or Warriors, baby.
Yeah, that's true. But okay, but it's been interesting so far. We'll check in on the NBA either next week or in a couple weeks, but let's go, man. Let's give the people what they're looking for. So again, if you are interested in joining our super contest, I know we're halfway through the season, but we are going based off of percentages. So if someone can at least jump in for at least 3 to 4 or 5 weeks, we will honor it. Please. Right now, obviously Aaron is winning our fan contest. But if you want to, please give us 4 games. You pick against the spread, 4 games, and the winner of the end of the season, as far as based off of winning percentage, we're going to send them a nice prize pack of T-shirts, stickers, flyers, you name it. Maybe a book. Sean, when I said that a couple weeks ago, Sean was like, I'm not giving away my books, but hey, if I have a duplicate of something or something I can let go, we will make that happen. We all suck. We all sucked ass last week. All three of us going 1-3. Mark, you're sitting now a game under 500 at 15, 16, and 1. Sean, he is at 11, 20, and 1. And I had my chance to, catapult myself above Sean, but I did not. I am sitting now at a Chase Elliott and Matt DiBenedetto and Brad Keselowski. A 9, 21, and 2. So even though those last two drivers probably will not be sitting in those cars next season.
And I'm at a retired Clint Boyer, a retired Greg Biffle, and a retired Kurt Busch from the one at Ganassi.
Oh man! So all right,
this is great, dude.
I know.
We suck. We suck.
Really suck.
We can make light of it, right?
I know, right? And
Sean's at Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell,
and Kurt Busch.
I love it.
Oh man! All right, so since we're going, since we all finished the same, so it's going to go. Mark, you have the best record. You go first. Sean goes second, and then myself. So let's start the TCB Super Contest picks of the week. We get 4, and go ahead, go first, and tell us your pick and why, bro. We have 4 teams with a bye this week. Thank God, the Bears, the Giants, the Texans, and the Bengals. So no freebies this week, Mark.
Wait, who are the buys? Say that again.
Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, New York Giants, and Houston Texans. So no freebie with the Houston Texans, sir.
Oh, I don't get I don't get.
Sean barely won that one. They won like 14, or I forgot what it was. They barely won by 10 or 11 or whatever. I forgot what it was, but they were favored by 6.5, and they barely won. Sean almost went 4-0. I mean 0-4. So what's your first pick and why? I have Sean's picks. I will get his up right now because he's got second. I won't actually look at it until. So there we go.
I will go with the Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh, Rams. Okay. After losing this week, they're on the road in San Francisco. LA Rams -4. What say you?
And I just don't like what I see out of the Niners. They're 0-4 at home. They got another home game here. They just can't win. They can't win at Levi's. This isn't the old candlestick. The magic's not there. Yeah, as your boy Damon Bruce likes to say, the turkey on the 50's not alive right now. So -4. I think the Rams coming off that embarrassing, it was embarrassing in my eyes when you're playing at home, when you're kind of got a lot of the money coming your way, and obviously it sways the other way, and that's why those lights are bright in the desert out there in Las Vegas, Nevada. But, I think that the Rams kind of get it together. The Niners, they're just not it this year. They just lost their right tackle and Mike McGlinchey for the year with, I think, a shoulder issue. If Sean was here, he'd be able to talk about that a little bit more since he's the resident 49er fan of the Comic Bookies podcast.
I mean, he texts us, though. He's just they're just not good right now. It's just absolute and utter trash. It's not good.
They're trash.
So
they suck.
So now,
they've lost
when are we
so
going to
much
hear?
this year.
I don't listen to local radio because me and you are Raider fans and A's fans, and we know who they talk about when it comes to local radio. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. They're going to talk about the Warriors, the 49ers, and the Giants. A's get no love. Raiders get no love. I mean, obviously Raiders won't anymore because they're in Las Vegas, but I have, you're good. I'm good off you. But are the local radios shows, I don't know if you listen, what are they saying about Kyle Shanahan? When is he all of a sudden not a good head coach anymore?
I haven't heard anything about Shanahan. I think that the general manager and Mr. Tampa Bay,
John
Stanford, Lynch. John Lynch. Yeah, John Lynch.
You forgot his name last week or 2 weeks ago, too.
Did I?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is a forgettable name because I don't want to remember what he did against our Raiders in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I don't blame you.
Exactly. Gruden's going to be a forgettable name here pretty soon, too. Jeez,
so
dude.
Is Ruggs, so is Arnett. We got a laundry list. So let's get to that game in a minute. But why is Kyle Shanahan not on like the hot list of like, you know what? If you go 6-11, not this year. What, his running back? If he goes 6-11, he's fired, right? Or no?
No, he won't get fired this season. He won't. I just
they're
think
going to let him transition with
into quarterback.
Yeah, with the new
Trey Lance.
Okay,
exactly.
All right.
Yes, exactly. Come on,
we're
on the same page here, brother.
I'm just guessing it. But I don't agree with it at the same time.
Sean's pick next.
Sean's pick is he's going with he's laying some wood in an AFC East division matchup. The Buffalo Bills -13 at the Jets. Now the Jets have only 2 wins, but they have 2 wins at home. So they can. I don't know. I kind of like the Jets too.
Do you? I know.
I mean, the Bills only scored 6 points last week.
Don't tip your hand too early.
I know, right? But the Buffalo Bills only scored 6 points last week. Josh Allen played like crap. The other Josh Allen played, he sacked him, he picked him off, and I think he recovered one of his fumbles last week. But, I mean, then at the same time, if you're thinking just, how gambling works and how the NFL works, it's like, okay, well, of course, they only scored 6 points. Of course they're going to win by 25, 35 points this week. But I don't know.
Who's coming off a bye? That's all I need to know.
I know, right? Coming off of a bye.
Isn't Tampa Bay coming off a bye?
Tampa Bay, maybe.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I don't think they played last week.
Oh, wait, did they not play last week? Oh, I'm tripping. I'm looking at the 3rd through the 9th. So let's see. Came off a bye last week was the Lions, the Seahawks, the Buccaneers, and the Redskins. The football team.
So they're both coming off a bye. So who do you take? The Bucks on the road laying 10 or the football team at home?
I've already written down my pick. Last week was a freaking fluke, and they're playing that last week was a fluke. Of course, we call out the stat of they've covered every single game, and what do they do? For some reason, like where was Dallas last week? Where? They're at home against the Broncos, who have gone 3-0 against shit teams, and they've gone 0-4 against like actually decent teams vying for a playoff spot. And then they're down like 30 to
Mike. This podcast ends in about 30 minutes, dude. You want me to go to bed having nightmares here in about an hour?
Bro, I'm laying this wood again. It was 10 last week. It's only 9 this week. Dallas at home against...
Only 9? This is the NFL. It's only 9.
I bet 3 big ones 2 weeks ago, and I won 2 out of the 3. So Dallas...
Your winning car number is not even... It's 4 away from 9 in the fight, dude. It's only 9.
I'm Dallas -9. They have to recover, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna play like that again against Atlanta. No. Atlanta, mind you, 3-1 away from Atlanta, away from home, yes, but no. Dallas, it's got to be Dallas are gonna win at least 2 touchdowns. At least 2 touchdowns they're gonna win by.
What is it? Dallas -9?
Dallas -9. Back to you for your second pick.
Sean got Bills -13.
Mm-hmm. So your second pick.
Jesus. Sean Bill. Wow.
Oh, man.
Okay. Let's get it going.
All right.
I'd say, I picked against them last week. I really did. And I was right. They went to MetLife. They really did. There he is.
The one game I pick against them. God damn it.
We're going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders here.
Yes.
They went on the road.
Thank you.
They went on the road. They didn't get what they needed. This Kansas City.
They are Kansas City. Oh, man.
Excuse me. The Kansas City Chiefs got what they needed in a non-cover win again against who the hell did they play last week?
Kansas City?
No.
They couldn't cover 6.5 against Love in the hapless and the Aaron Rodgers-less freaking Green Bay Packers at home. Oh my God, I was so mad. I should have gotten that was an easy 2-2 week.
They're terrible. So that's why I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders. What line do you got there, Mike?
I got +2.5.
That's what I'm going to take.
Okay.
I don't need the half point. I don't want the half point. Give me the money line, +130. Sprinkle on it, baby.
All right. Sean's going with the Tennessee, where are you? Tennessee Titans at home against the New Orleans Saints, -3. See, like, Tennessee is a team that I don't even want to play anymore. I don't even want to play. Like what we were talking about. They go into LA with no Derrick Henry and they absolutely throttle the Rams. Like, how does that happen?
And he wants who?
He wants
a minus
Tennessee
3?
at home against New Orleans, -3.
I kind of like that, though.
I mean, well, so do I. Like, just looking at it, of course I like that. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC for a reason. So, I don't know. What am I going to freaking take?
So whatever. Sean's not even with us, and he slide one by us on that one.
Why is New England only -1.5 at home against the Browns?
Oh, don't take one from me. Don't take one from me.
Oh, man, because I don't have to worry about...
Don't do it.
Because I don't have to worry about... Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to cheat real quick. Sorry, Sean. Oh, man. Oh, man, what do I do?
You take Washington football team +10 at home.
No, I'm going to go back to what I've always done.
Both
no, I'm going
teams,
to go back to what I
take
do.
the
No,
under.
I hope to take the loss and my team wins, but I'm taking Kansas City -2.5. I'm doing the juju.
You're fading the kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. With Ruggs and Gruden, it's snowballing. Arnett's gone now. It's all snowballing into a shit show that we're going to end up 6-11.
Arnett hasn't even been playing. We got the soprano on our side.
That's right.
What are you talking, Mike?
Come on. Last week was horrible, bro. Last week was horrible. We were 1 for 6 in the red zone, 3 field goals, a pick 6, and we lose by like. How do you freaking lose that game? You're shooting yourselves in the foot. Bad teams find ways to lose. Good teams find ways to win.
I guess
that is not a playoff game. That's not a playoff team right there.
Comment if you guys are live. Comment. I guess Mike hasn't learned yet because this obviously isn't this is a week-to-week league, guys. We see how shitty a team can be, and now they get home, they get right. No. We got Crosby, we got Waller, you know, they're on the AA.
You know what?
So
the only person who is at fault for that is Derek Carr. If Derek Carr comes home and plays like he should be playing, then we win that game. But if he plays like he played last week, we're losing by 10 at least. Derek Carr played one of the worst games of his life last week. Absolutely atrocious. So no. But what have I been doing? Every single game this year that I've picked against the Raiders, they cover and they win. So no, I'm putting the juju on. I'll take a loss. Give me a 2-2, a 3-1 week. But if the Raiders win at the end of the day, I'm a happy boy. So what's your third pick, sir?
What's yours?
What do you mean, what's my third pick? You're next.
What do you mean? What's your second pick?
Kansas City, -2.5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's your third pick?
My third pick is going to be, guys, I'm looking here, and I'm going to give you guys the best pick. The best pick on the board. No, I don't know if it is, but look, I like Green Bay. I'm gonna take Green Bay. They played close.
Okay, 3-0 at home too. Haven't lost at home.
3-0 at home. It's gonna be the rookie going again, if I'm correct, right?
I don't know. I know they got fined.
What line do you got on that for me, Mike?
Green Bay -3.
Okay. I'm going to take Green Bay -3 to cover at home against the Seattle Seahawks coming off that bye, because my new trend is fade these shitty-ass teams coming off these damn byes because they ain't doing shit. So I was trying to get some nookie and trying to lamp up, man. Just get it together. So fade the damn bye team. So let's go Green Bay. Played a close game in Kansas City. Could have, covered. I'll take LaFleur, and I'll take whoever the hell, Jones or whatever the hell his name is. So let's go Green Bay. Let's go Cheeseheads.
All right. Sean, he wanted Dallas. Not going to get him. Wanted Kansas City. Not going to get him.
Not gonna get
so
him.
He's going to take Denver -2.5 at home against the Eagles.
-2.5?
Denver -2.5 against the Eagles. So if you're, I don't know, the second straight NFC East game, now they're back at home. I don't know. This is smelling like the game they played at home against Baltimore, where they score freaking 9, 10 points, and then the Eagles score another, 24 to 31 points. I don't know. I don't not like it enough to pick Philadelphia because I'm going with this fishy ass line. I'm going New England minus a point and a half. I mean, I know they're 1-4 at home, but come on. Odell Beckham Jr. is now gone. I mean, yes, now the cancer is gone, but and then what's his name? And then what's his name? Nick Chubb. I have him on my fantasy team. Thank you for coming back and running for a 70-yard touchdown, giving me like 25, 30 points. And I just got the note today that he is now, I don't know if he's out, but his thing went from healthy to COVID-19. So I don't think Nick Chubb's playing this week because of freaking COVID. So I'm taking New England minus a point and a half at home. I know it's a fishy-ass line, so like now Cleveland's going to come back and like just trounce them and win by 10 or 14. But I don't know. It's just too fishy. I don't know.
Can you take Pittsburgh -9?
Ugh. Is that your last pick? You're really going to go Detroit? What's Detroit ATS? Because they've actually covered a few games. They covered against Minnesota. They covered against Baltimore. But they just haven't put it together for a win. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, we're picking spreads here. Like when they
No one's going with this one, and I'm actually going to go with this one.
Okay.
So here's my fourth and final pick. You're probably going to want it, but
don't take it.
I kind of like it. It's even money right now. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh, okay.
-3.
Okay. Yeah, I have it.
They come home.
I have -2.5. So if they win by a field goal, you win.
So you got 2.5.
Yep.
You're going to give me 2.5?
I'm giving you 2.5. That's what I have here.
You're the bookie.
I'm the bookie.
Give me 2.5, baby.
Bookie, baby. Sean's.
Right,
so hold on. So why do you like that? Why do
I like that?
Because you hate Minnesota.
Minnesota, I hate them. They played way too hard in Baltimore last week, and I think that with Los Angeles coming back, who did they play last week? They played
the Chargers.
Yeah, they had to bye their week before, right?
Yeah, they had the bye the week before, and then I believe who'd they play? They played again, and then they barely. Oh, they kicked the field goal at the end to cover. They played in Philadelphia, and they won 27-24. That was like my pick of the week. Like I loved them -1.5, but they almost didn't cover and win. I was like, oh god. And I almost went 0 for.
So now they come back on a team that's got to be on the road twice, coming to the West Coast. I like the Chargers. A number that you're going to give me at 2.5, so I'll take that all day. Let's go, Chargers. Go, Chargers, go.
The game that you were talking about, the Steelers game, Sean's actually going to pick against you there, or at least the Steelers. Sean's taking Detroit +9. So Sean's taking some points. So he's fading all these ones, and now he's going to pick oh man, what do I go with? Oh jeez.
He's taking 3 favorites and a dog. I'm taking 3 favorites and a dog.
You know,
right now
I'm gonna take
you got to take a dog.
I'm gonna take the randomest one, right?
New York Jets.
No, the Cardinals. They go on the road. They don't have Kyler Murray, and they still absolutely throttle the 49ers. Now they come home, 10.5 point favorites over the Carolina Panthers. Give me Carolina +10.5.
Panthers. How come I don't see that game?
Playing 500 ball on the road. Moore's been playing pretty good this year so far. He doesn't have a lot of touchdowns, but he's got 53 catches already, barely halfway through the year. I like Carolina to at least cover that 10.5 point spread. Kyler Murray, I think he's coming back. So even if he comes back, they're riding high. Like, expect them to have like a little bit of a hiccup after that good division win on the road in Santa Clara. So that's how I round out the picks this week. An honorable mention. Lamar Jackson always does it for me on primetime, like as far as fantasy points. If I were to have a 5th pick, I might go with the Ravens, even though they're traveling down to Florida to cover 7.5 points. Miami's not a good team, and they're 1-3 at home too. So if that were to be an honorable mention.
Who is it?
Baltimore in Miami -7.5. That'd be an honorable mention if if we were doing 5 picks. But that's it for me. That's it for the NFL. And that is it for episode 132 of the Comic Bookies podcast. Mark, if you have anything else to add, take us away, brother.
So you got Carolina plus 10?
10.5.
10.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for the Comic Bookies podcast. We wrap it up. It was fun. Man, we didn't even get to talk about the dumbass Raiders, but that's it, dude. That's all they are. And just their players just can't get it together.
Yeah.
As they're, you got the interim head coach. Poor guys trying to keep the team together, and they're just falling apart. And not because of whatever his name is, the Sperano family brother or whatever, but geez, it sucks, dude. But I think that obviously picked them in my picks. I think they come back. They kind of get it right. Carr, he's kind of becoming that leader that franchise needs. He's been with Gruden gone, with just so many moving parts right now. It's just him and Mayock right now are probably, the face of that franchise besides, Lloyd Christmas and Mark Davis sitting at the realm. But nonetheless, I hope that they get it together, because if they were to start the playoffs right now, they would actually be playing in Buffalo, and then Buffalo would be hosting them in the wild card game. So we'll see, but shout out to the Raiders. Keep it going. Try to get a win this week against Kansas City. I picked it. Mike picked against me. So something's got to give there. So let's go, man. But nonetheless, this has been episode 132, the Comic Bookies podcast. Mike is a champion in NASCAR. Liverpool is falling apart, losing to West Ham United. Shout out to them. They're in third place in the Premier League table. And at the Comic Bookies podcast on all social media, you can find us at thecomicbookies@gmail.com for our email. And you can always get your comic books and whatever books you need at Treasure Island Comics. And thank you guys for being a part of with us as we enter this season of giving in spirits. So we ask of you to give us a 5-star rating. We ask of you to share this podcast with your loved ones, with anybody else that shares these same interests that me and my co-hosts Mike and Sean do with you guys each and every week. So thank you guys, and remember, this is the Comic Bookies podcast, episode 132. We love you, and Mike, thank you for being a part of this with me this week. Sean couldn't be with us as he is doing stuff for his newly born that is about to be here, but we are glad that you are here, and we thank you. And Mike, give it away, man.
Dude, I don't even know if I have to say any. I don't know. I don't know. But speaking of the Sopranos, we don't have any more new countries to stamp into the Comic Bookies passport. But speaking of the Sopranos, the state of New Jersey, thank you so much for over 125 downloads over the last 10 episodes. Whoever you are, if you're just the Soprano family, or the many saints of Newark, New Jersey, thank you so much. But the top 5 downloaded parts of the United States, so right now over the last 10 episodes, we have New York, number 1. The New York area is actually the number 1 download of our podcast over the last 10 episodes. Of course, The Greater Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose sitting at 2nd. Out here in the valley where I live right now, Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto 3rd. LA is 4th, and Las Vegas, your favorite city there, Mark, is sitting in the top 5. So for Mark, this is Mike. Sean will hopefully be back next week. This is episode 132. This is the Comic Bookies podcast. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Goodbye. See you soon. Ta-ta.
And always enjoy each other. And always enjoy these holidays. And shout out and rest in peace to the young 2-year-old that had his life taken in Oakland, California by a stray bullet and caught bystander on the freeway. It sucks. What a way to end your life. Life is precious, and don't ever forget that. So like we always say, love the books, love the sports, love each other. Let's get it, man. We love you guys. Peace.